All right, welcome everyone. This is a special edition of Relative Truths, and we are doing our first interview today, and happens to be his first interview also. This is Brandon Hoff. He's an electric violinist, and I got in contact with him kind of through my daughter. My daughter had him play at her wedding, and then she just recently had him play at one of her parties, and we sat down afterwards and talked for a while and thought, wow, it'd be really cool to do a podcast because this isn't really a mainstream kind of thing to do. This electric violin is kind of cool. If you haven't seen it, you have to check him out. He's on Facebook. Welcome.
Hello, happy to be here.
That's good. So I got it's really cool because I started seeing electric violins before I even met you, but just on the internet because I get weird. Like I told you, I get like Ellie the Piper, and I follow all
Right, right.
this
I'm sure Mia Sano she's huge
Mia
right now.
Sano,
She
Nina.
also plays a seven-string Viper like I have, and she's phenomenal. I got to see her back when she was at the Grog Shop in
Nice.
March. So I got to meet her. She's a very kind person. Um, And I actually the school I work with, Twinsburg, we got her to sign one of the Vipers. They have a school Viper, and she signed it for them, and, so it was really cool. She got to meet with the directors, and it was an awesome moment.
That's really cool. And for people who don't know what a Viper is, we'll be getting into that in a little bit here. Nina
Should I wait? Because I have mine on
Yeah, oh
standby.
yeah, we'll get hold on. Nina Di Gregorio's another one. She's
Oh,
got the Vegas
phenomenal,
show. Yep,
phenomenal.
yep. So give me a little story. I know
Sure.
the way I found out is at my daughter's wedding. I was talking to someone before the wedding. You were there. You weren't playing it, and I mentioned because came up with some. I don't know, remember who I was talking to, but I mentioned, yeah, my daughter got to play with Mark Wood and up on stage, and he plays he invented, I guess, one of the Viper. It's an
Yes,
electric
Mark
violin.
Wood. Right.
And then
So
you kind of jumped in. You said Mark Wood. And then you kind of said, I know that I play with him. And so
yes.
explain how this all came to be. Like you played violin as a kid, and
Sure
or how
thing.
you got interested, and
So,
what happened.
like a lot of the recruitment, the orchestra, they come in and they let you play a violin, and you kind of have to take a music, either band, choir, or orchestra. And I was like, all right, I like the violin. It was pretty cool, and have to take a music anyway. So I did it, but it's never really too into it.
Right.
Started in fourth grade, 9 years old.
No kid
Then
really ever is.
yeah, right,
Yeah.
right, and then, you'd have your parents fill out the practice log and
Right.
stuff, and
Right.
and I was in the back of the second violins, was not a very strong player, and then 7th grade rolls around, and it's the Electrifier Symphony program. We're doing it in October with Mark Wood. So, for those of you that don't know, Mark Wood is the original violinist for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and he invented the Viper, but the pretty much the electric violin, one of the first solid body, first to add 5, 6, and 7 strings, and then frets to the instrument. So he's quite the innovator of the instrument. Anyway, so for the Electrifier Symphony program, um, with instead of doing Beethoven and Mozart and Bach and the classical repertoire, we're doing rock and pop arrangements, Crazy Train, Enter Sandman, Bruno Mars, all of that stuff on strings, all arranged for
Nice.
string orchestra.
That's kind of cool.
And that was I attribute my love of rock and roll. Yes, my parents would play it on the radio, but it was Guitar Hero. I When I first
A
played
lot of
Guitar
kids.
Hero, yes,
Yeah, it's a
I
lot of the
know, and I
kids.
I had always thought I was gonna be probably a guitarist, and I never picked it up. But then I remember that moment, I'm watching, and I see Mark Wood rip the Randy Rhoads Crazy Train solo on his Viper with a wah-wah pedal, and I was like,
Yeah.
"What? I can do that on this instrument." And so we're going through the program. We're at the rehearsal. So it's structured in a 2-day workshop where he rehearses with all the string orchestras. And for that, it's not like what the teacher's working on. It's not working on. Sometimes it's workshopping rhythms and intonation, and but it's more about the feeling. Are you moving? Are you how do you work an electric instrument? And that's what his how do you engage with an audience? That's
Right.
what his workshop is focused on. And then a concert. I remember I'm in the back of the violin, second violin section, Bruno Mars' "Runaway Baby," and I'm jumping, and he noticed it, and he said, "Hey, I love the way you smile. I love the way you play. Did you want to play the song in the middle of the stage?" And that was I was like, "What? I'm not a strong player, like, why would he call me out?" And
Mm.
that's the thing is he has a real eye for recognizing people that are passionate and not just,
Right. Right.
technique-wise good players, but passionate and really are kind of, seeing as a musician
Yeah.
and not just approaching as a string player.
You're right, because I mean, passionate people tend to I mean, they you see it on stage. There's nothing more boring than and I always said this about some of the older country singers. You just get up there, you stand in front of a mic with a guitar, and you sing, and you don't move, and you just stand there for an hour. It's boring.
Yes.
It's like they're just
Eh
going through the motions, and you
right,
don't like to
right.
see that.
And in our classical world, and I understand when you have 100 string players and they
Right.
have to coordinate the same part, right? They all got to be reading music. Um, but that's the orchestra is faced towards the conductor, and the conductor's back is faced towards the audience. And I mean, you watch a rock band. Do you ever see the guitar play? Maybe a chord chart or something, but never are they not even facing the audience and just so the sheet music can create a disconnect, especially with the audience. So a lot of what we've been working on, especially with the Electrifier Symphony program, but in my studies, just by myself, it's learning by ear. It's learning how to play the parts by ear and getting away from the music stand, and you might not be playing exactly what the composer intended, but then you're playing something more authentic to yourself.
So,
Um,
let me ask you a question. You played from 4th grade to 7th grade, right? And
well, 4th grade to 7th grade, was, until I discovered the electric violin,
right.
but I I
But
p I finished, I played through my senior year in the orchestra. I played, in the orchestra at Ohio State. I
okay.
got a minor there. So I've done orchestral training.
So
I
you can
did
read
more
music still.
classical training. Oh, yes, yes,
Good, good,
I
good. Okay,
still
that's what
do.
I was gonna
Yes,
ask, okay.
every day.
Because I played trumpet and violin when I was a kid, cornet, actually, it's not a trumpet, but I couldn't read music now to save my life because
Couldn't remember it,
it's
right.
gone, yeah.
It's one of
Um,
those things, if you don't practice it, it
so you
goes
keep up
away.
on it
Yes,
with the reading? Good.
yes,
Okay.
every day. I try and do a good balance of learning by ear, but also learning with sheet music. And again, I do warm up a lot with classical music, so
Oh, that's
I'm
good.
reading the sheet music for that.
Nice,
Uh,
nice. Alright. So, I mean, so now you're into the electric violin. Go ahead, basically
yeah,
continue your story.
yeah. What was the transition over to it? So yes, after that Electrify Your Symphony concert,
That's it, yeah.
I begged and begged. It was in October. I begged and begged my parents for an electric violin for Christmas. I'm like, you got to get it. I need one. I need one. And and my dad thought it was going to be a phase, and my grandparents stepped in and they bought it for me. And
Nice.
it wasn't the Viper that I have now. It
No,
was
I've seen the price of the Viper. I think, yeah, show them the Viper.
I'll show the Viper, but let me show the one that I got first.
Okay, yeah,
I have the Stingray.
that'd be cool. Wow, this is pretty cool.
So
Wow.
the first electric violin that I got. It's called a Stingray. So it still
So that
has the
yeah,
traditional chin rest and
right.
shoulder rest, but it's fully solid body. And this one is 5 string. So that was kind of my first venture outside of the,
Four
violin,
strings,
viola,
yeah.
cello are traditionally 4 stringed instruments. So that was my first venture outside of that. And I played this one, oh boy, about 12 years. 12 years
Wow,
before I got my first Viper. So I
wow.
was playing electric, a fretless instrument, but this is what I learned with. And
That's
then
kinda cool.
actually, I have all of my instruments here, so I can show you. I'll show you the Viper that I got, and then the one that I currently use now. I'll be right back.
Okay, no problem. That's crazy. I don't know how they could play these instruments without frets. If any of you play guitar or anything, frets or key is how you play.
Then this
That's
is a
kinda cool.
six-string Viper, um, and I got this, while I was waiting for my, seven-string Viper. There's been a back order for wood violins for a number of reasons, which is that back order is pretty much almost finished, which is great. So, but it was about a 3-year wait. So
Wow.
in the time I when I graduated from OSU, I started my band, and I was kinda getting to that point where I was like, "I wanna do music professionally,"
What band?
and,
What band is
uh,
that?
my band is Bridge the Gap.
There you go.
So we are an electric violin fronted rock band. We do covers, we do everything from the late 60s to today. So we've been growing a pretty strong presence here in the Northeast Ohio region. We have a monthly residency with the House of Blues. We play their
Nice.
restaurant and bar, their foundation room. We've been doing a lot of events through the city of Middleburg Heights, Seven Hills. So we've been really expanding in this area, and it's been great to share that with people because people are resonating with this instrument. But I
Yeah, I think
found
the
this
more it
one
gets out there, the more it's gonna gain popularity because it's not very well known until
right,
people see it, and then they're like,
and
"Oh, holy crap,
And
that's
the
awesome."
the music industry is really, especially now, it's a lot about what's unique and what's niche and what's different. And
Right.
this definitely gives that. But yes, this I bought this on Facebook Marketplace. The
Really?
guy, yes, drove it
Wow.
up to PA, Slippery Rock, PA, which is about 2 hours from here. So I
Wow.
drove, picked it up, 6 strings. This is a 2018 model, so this is actually, it's kind of a part of history. The uh, the manufacturer of it no longer is with us, unfortunately. So this instrument is a piece of history. So, and
Nice.
then I will show you the
That's
last one
kinda
that I
cool.
have.
That's
Yes,
kinda cool. Wow. Trust me, these things can get pricey too. Whoo. Look up Viper violins online. Woo.
then
There it is.
now this is my main driver. Yes, it's a
Yeah.
7-string fretted instrument. So pretty much the full range of the orchestra, at least
It
down to
it
the
you
cello.
holding it like that looks like a guitar. A small guitar, but
Yes,
it looks
a
just like a
small,
guitar.
and then, but this is the way that it actually goes on. Best thing about it is it's self-supporting.
Yeah, you don't have it
So
keeps
not
your
only
head
does it
free.
look cool, but it's ergonomic. It
Yeah,
feels awesome. There's no tension when you play. You're free to jump, you're free to move. The instrument can
that's
move a
kinda
little
cool.
bit. Yeah, but it gives you a relationship. Mark talked about, the relationship that he wanted with the instrument was that of that Hendrix or Jimmy Page had, where it's this fluid. It's not this tension
Right,
filled where
right.
it looks like it's this fluid motion where you can move in it and it seems to be part of your body.
Yeah. Yeah, smart idea, very smart idea. Now I
Yeah.
noticed just looking around too, a lot of companies that sell the electric violin don't go to the 6 and 7 string. They go, you know, 4 and 5,
And
they got the 5 string,
right.
why is that?
And I would
You think?
say I from knowing a little bit, there's challenges, physics challenges that you and hurdles you have to overcome when you're going to a six string instrument because if you're a traditional violinist and this this is a very high angle
Right.
to if I was playing my acoustic, my E would be here. So you have to kind of learn the different angles. They get a lot sharper as you go around, and then you have to be finer as you go to different strings. The neck has to be wider. You have to have a pickup that can accommodate
So
these
it's
low strings.
basically people are like, "Yeah, no, I'm not doing this.
Yes,
It's too ridiculous."
yes, and at some point,
Yeah,
there's demand too. It's
right.
six string is ever growing, and seven string is ever growing, but a majority I see of players are about five string, and
Yeah,
then it starts. So then some companies are like, there's just not enough demand for it at the moment, so they don't
gotcha,
want to invest the resources into it.
gotcha.
Um, but for me,
Understandable.
it totally depends on the player, what your ambition is,
Right,
and what direction you're pursuing. Especially when I play a lot of rock and stuff, it's you want those low strings for those power chords to do those rhythmic like parts to do. Guitar goes down to a low E, so
right,
with a six string, that gets you within a half step of that. So, yeah, depending on the genre and what you wanna pursue, the 6 and 7 string might not be for everyone. Because if you're not going to venture into the 6 string, it's
right.
just in the way, essentially. I mean, you adjust to it, but it is more difficult to play because of the reasons I described, where the strings are closer together, the angles.
And it seems like, okay, you do the traditional violin, that's something you could play at home, it's like, "Cool, I'm gonna play some, Vivaldi or Bach or whatever today,"
Right,
just,
right.
and be cool. It seems like if you transition to the electric violin, you wanna perform. You wanna be on stage. You wanna be out there, not just sitting at home playing the
Yes.
violin for fun. I don't see anybody that just plays the violin for fun going, "Hey, I'm gonna go buy an electric violin and play it at home so nobody could ever hear it." So,
Yes, and, there is a small amount of people that will do that for the reasons that I mentioned. There are people that play a viper because this they've developed
yeah,
a lot of tension in their neck and they need a viper to be able to play.
keep
And,
it okay,
there's
yeah,
also, teachers that use this instrument to demo to their students because it has the violin, viola, cello, and bass range, so they can play it to, they can
that's
demo the parts and play along with any part of their orchestra. So
that's
there's
cool.
some, applications for it, and in studio recordings, I recently used it to, compose. 'Cause
Nice.
I can play the cello part, I can play the violin parts, and you can compose all on one instrument, and that's kinda the application of having all of those strings.
That's kinda cool. That's pretty neat.
Yes, so there's
Wow.
a lot of applications to it, but of course, I mean, my favorite application of it is
It's
performing.
yeah. Yep,
Yes.
definitely. Yeah, you can tell. So so how okay, so you got into all this. How did you team up with Mark Williams? Because you do a lot
Yes,
of work with him.
how do I team up with him again? That's a great question. I'm gonna put this down
Yeah,
real quick.
because I know he I think he came oh, you can't hear me. I think he came to my
Yes.
daughter's school, so I know you guys do a lot of work with schools and things like that, which is really cool. So how did you get into this? How did you team up with this, going from wanting to play the electric
Yes.
violin to actually, working with his group working
Great,
with him?
great question. So I had seen him with some of the schools when I was eighth, ninth grade, had gone and to seen him at some of the schools in the area. And then we kind of lost touch. And again, around my senior year, I was planning on going into medicine at Ohio State. My major was biology.
Okay.
Um, I had approached it and just with the mindset of I like the electric violin. It's cool, but can I make a career out of it? And I had been passionate about science, and I did have a passion for medicine. So I was like, all right, let's give up the rock star dream and go to Ohio State and do and I mean this in no disrespect, but do there's a set path,
Right,
as a
right.
musician. Who knows where you're going to go? Nobody knows unless you maybe audition for an orchestra. And again, that's very difficult. And that's not even the route. I didn't want to pursue that. I get asked, would you want to be in the Cleveland Orchestra? And no, I'm not playing that so I can play in an orchestra. I'm playing it to do something different
Different.
that resonates with me. Um,
Right.
yes, but anyway, so I had gone to Ohio State, and I actually um, got connected with a fraternity down there, and I was playing an Ohio State football game, a tailgate, block party.
Cool.
And I was, because in the time, that between 7th grade and 12th grade, I was playing along to backing tracks and had
Yeah.
kinda developed a repertoire of music. So I picked a few songs that I thought would be fitting, Mr. Brightside, Crazy Train, Sweet Child of Mine, a lot of stuff that would be fitting for a tailgate. And I did that, and it got a very good response, and it got, an article in the Ohio State, newspaper, The Lantern, from that. I got
Nice.
connected with, a good friend of mine, Doctor Robert Gillespie. He was the head string professor for Ohio State. He co-authored a book called Essential Elements for Strings, which has sold over 12 million copies
Wow.
and is in pretty much a lot of the orchestra programs and schools. It's the book I learned out of. So it was crazy reconnecting with him through that article.
That's kinda
But
cool.
no, I my dad was there, and he still to this day records everything, but recorded that,
Good,
and we
good,
put it
good.
on YouTube. Yes, and I sent it off to the Markwood's website, the comment box in there. I sent it off at about 3 days later or so. I remember I'm looking at my emails, and his personal email was there, and he was like, I'm like, no way, like that is crazy. This guy I've looked up to
Right, right.
at that point for about 10 years. And, and he was corresponding and said he really liked what I was doing. And he had a music camp and he wanted me to come there and study with him. Um, so then about I think it was a year and a half after that, I went for my first year as a counselor, and I've been going. I just recently, about a month ago, was there as my fourth year as a counselor. So
Nice,
that's an
nice.
awesome experience. It's called the Markwood Rock Orchestra Camp, and it's about a week where all of us gather from all over the world, to electric string players, acoustic string players,
Oh, nice.
guitarists, vocalists, and we all gather and we kind of do I would say an electrifier symphony on a bigger scale.
Right.
where it's a full week of rehearsals, and there's classes, and there's, faculty members, Dr. Chuck Bontrager, Hayden Vatera, Matt Bell, with the electric violin shop, Tracy Silverman. So a lot of these Joe Denizone, a lot of these really prominent electric string players, and you are studying with them for a week, and it's just been an amazing experience, and I love it going because you connect with, you connect with people that are like you. You find your home. You find people that approaching the instrument
Right.
and the same way. And then, of course, we play with an all pretty much all electric orchestra, which is a very cool experience.
All right. Speaking on that, I got to ask you a question. This is going to be a weird question, but doing a little
Okay.
research, I come up with this. This
Sure.
is mostly female dominated area, electric
Yes.
violinists. It's when you look up electric violinists, all you see is a bunch of women and a couple guys thrown in. Mark Wood's one of them,
Right. Right.
a couple guys, but it's why, I mean, in your camp, all these people that come to learn, is it the same thing? Is it mostly females? Is it female dominated,
I don't
or
yeah,
is
it seems to be a good mix, but it's
does it
interesting that you say that because I believe the stat was about 80% of Viper players. I don't know if I'm butchering that. It's either 60 or 80, but I think it's 80
60,
are
60%?
are
Well, 60% of
six.
violinists are
Oh,
female. So I don't know about Viper, electric,
yes.
but
But yes,
60% of
I think
violinists are female.
it's a similar stat that follows that um
But
with
the
Viper players.
popular
Most Viper
ones,
players are women.
yeah, the popular ones, the ones that are more mainstream, it's women. It's all women. It's
Right. Right.
a few guys, very few males. And I just thought that was kind of strange. I don't know
Yes.
why.
I
I have no idea why that would be. Do
I
you have any guesses to
I
that?
have some ideas, but I don't
Okay.
know. I think it could be I think there's a connotation with stringed instruments in general, but with the violin especially, it's a smaller, more delicate instrument, and it can kind of be viewed, I think, in that way. So I think maybe some males might tend to not pursue it. But of course, yeah, you see what we're doing, and a lot of
Right, right.
the female players are rocking it. I mean, Nina with her eruption cover. I mean,
Well, that was
people,
crazy.
yeah,
That was crazy.
people think she is miming along to Eddie Van Halen, which you're doing something right if somebody thinks you're
Yeah,
playing along with Van Halen.
yeah.
But yeah, they're killing it, and they're and like I was saying, they're not playing the instrument in a delicate way. They are
No,
full blown
not at
rocking
all.
it. So I think it. I think even uh, the women are crushing that stereotype that the instrument has as well. So I think it's helping all around.
Nice, nice. All right. So now, you got this camp? Do you guys do a lot of work with schools? Because I know
Yes.
it's yeah. I talked to you at the party. This is very important to keep music in schools. It's
Right.
just
Right.
kids should always have the ability to play music for free or try an instrument or try things for free and
So,
learn.
so a lot of most of the people I would say that attend the camp were involved with an Electrify Your Symphony at some point. And then Markwood has the Markwood Music Foundation. And through that, they give a lot of the Electrify Your Symphony programs scholarships for the kids to attend the camp. So that's kind of where a lot of where that stems from,
Right.
and Mark and, Hayden Matera, Greg Byers are a few of the other, Electrify Your Symphony mentors, and they 8 months out of the year are going to schools and doing this program. I mean, some days Mark has 3 or 4 different schools he'll be in 1 week, in
Nice.
Colorado, and
Wow.
then Ohio, and and all over the place. But it's great because that's the best way to reach um so many people
Yeah, I know it
by
was it
the
was really
schools. And
cool when my daughter was in school, eh, she was picked to play up on stage with him, as group from the school. And, he signed her violin and everything. And it's really, and that was a big thing to her. I mean, that's the way it should be for kids. That gives them, not for her, she quit, but she quit playing, but it gives a lot of kids excitement
Yes. It
appreciation
gives
for the arts.
And right, and it gives confidence,
Yeah,
especially at the
exactly.
adolescence age. A lot of kids are unsure about themselves, about their identity, about their path, about just it's such a trying period of time, and being able to connect with music and get confidence and oh, he thought my solo was good? Oh, he
Right.
thinks I'm good enough to play on stage, and you
Absolutely.
find your tribe, and you and I always for me, music is such a great outlet, no matter what I'm feeling. If I am feeling happy, if I'm feeling sad, if I'm feeling angry, I pick up my instrument and I play, and if I feel disconnected, I feel back to myself again. So I think it's a very, very healthy outlet to have, even if you're not pursuing it professionally, to
Right,
be
right,
able to
right.
have music as an outlet, a therapeutic outlet is priceless.
It's kinda weird because today, on Tuesdays, we release an episode of our podcast. It's in the morning, Relative Truths Podcast. Follow us. Subscribe, and share, and all that good stuff. And with Brandon, go find him on Facebook.
Yes,
Uh,
it's
he
at Brandon Hoff Music, Instagram,
and your
Facebook,
band.
YouTube, and TikTok, and then my band is at Bridge the Gap 216, the Cleveland area code. Um, and that's on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
You
And then
got
my
some good
website
singers in that
is
band.
Brandon Hoff Music.
That dude's a good singer, and that girl's a good singer. Um,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
you're gonna be right down at Grindstone here in a couple weeks.
We d
We might go down and
we
see him.
will be there on August 30th. We were
Yeah.
just there actually on Sunday. We had 3 shows,
Yeah.
last weekend. We're at the House of Blues and then at Tony K's, in Berea outside patio bar.
It
Really,
we
really
Me
fun
and my wife went
experience,
there
and then
Friday.
Grindstone. Oh, really?
Yeah,
You just
we
missed
didn't know
us.
you were gonna be there Sunday. But so, it's kinda strange. Tell me if you've run into this. We're gonna get off the beaten path here for a minute. The name of the podcast I released today is "Who Doesn't Like Music?" Right? Because my co-host Tom, he's my brother-in-law. I don't know if you met him at Lexi's party, but he he actually knows someone that does not care for music at all. Like, doesn't listen to music, doesn't see the point of it, doesn't do anything for him. And I'm like, huh, what kind of soulless creature is this? I mean,
Right.
I mean, music for
I
everybody,
just think right.
everybody is it
Music
something, either it's classical or country or rock or hip hop. It touches, people like music, but this guy wants nothing to do with music. That's
just yeah,
that's weird.
don't
That's
get that.
alien.
Right. It is. And, I mean, because I think even, I love I think everybody resonates with nostalgia, and music for me is one of the biggest, ways to connect with that feeling of nostalgia. And you associate it with a memory. I mean, say, my grandmother, recently passed to cancer and Can't Help Falling in Love was one of her favorite songs by Elvis. She loved
Elvis.
Elvis, and I used to play it for her, so every time I play it for her, you associate that memory with it, and that's special. That's something only art can do, but music especially.
Well, music. It's funny because music activates both sides of your brain, the left and the right. The words activate the left side because it's word, and the music and the artsy part activate the right side. And that's why if you haven't heard a song for 30 years, you can still remember all the words to it. You can sing along with it like it's one of your favorite
Like you
songs.
yeah, like you just heard it yesterday.
And
Right.
and I just can't fathom how somebody could be like, "Yeah, no, I don't care. I don't listen to music, never will, don't care, nothing, blah, blah, blah." It's like, "What? What?"
Right, and and
That's
and
like someone saying, "I don't like to eat, so I'm not gonna eat anymore." And it's like,
yes.
you know,
I don't like I don't
I don't
like to
like food.
smell. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't like
yeah.
food. Hmm.
And I think, live music, especially, listening to a record is great, and listen to Spotify all the time, but I was at the Foo Fighters concert yesterday,
How
and
was that?
oh my god, amazing, and they
Yeah.
put on a 3-hour show.
Are you
And
serious?
yes, the Foo Fighters at a stadium show, I've never witnessed that, where maybe 3 hours of music for the headliner is because my band plays 3 hours and we're just starting out, we're not at
Yeah,
the Foo Fighters level, so it was an awesome experience, but, the pure joy that you feel hearing and singing along those songs with I think there was about 35,000 people there,
that's
and
crazy.
that sense
Wow.
of connectedness, and again, that how when you say you don't like music, when that guy said he didn't like music, it's like, that experience, man, you are missing
Yeah,
out.
I don't get it. I just I don't know. I don't get it. The only other artist I've ever seen that I saw that does shows like that is Bruce Springsteen. He does 3, 4-hour shows, but I don't know how they do that up on
Wow.
I don't know how they do that up on stage like that for 3. That's crazy. That's well, at least that's worth the price of the ticket now because ticket prices have yeah, we won't even go
They
into
have
that.
risen.
Woo! They have risen. So, all right, that's cool. So, let me ask you a question. You go to Ohio State, thinking about medicine, you go to college, you went the whole 4 years, correct?
Yes, I did.
So
I finished it up. I have the degree.
so how happy were your parents that you were like, "I'm gonna pursue music?"
Oh, I I remember, I remember that. So it said, I didn't give, necessarily a time frame. That was November of 2022. I was a
Mhm.
sophomore when I played the tailgate, and, then I got
Yeah,
in around Thanksgiving, I gotten the emails from Mark Wood, and we were corresponding, and I remember that when my dad was taking me back from the dorm for Christmas break, I remember he said, "You're not thinking about doing music and being a rock star, right?" And
yep, typical
I'm
parent
like
question.
I'm like, "I don't know about that," and telling
Yeah,
me, "It's so unpredictable, and it's so, it's such a dog eat dog, field, and it's competitive and all that, but,
but you're not in the normal
I d
field, you know? You're
right,
not in the normal field of music.
that's where I had that mindset where it's like, "But it's different, it's something unique." There's that kind of voice inside of me that's telling me this is what I need to be doing. And then that I believe it was, yes, because it was 2023. That summer after was when I started my band. And I remember, after doing those, we first started at open mics. After doing those open mics, and I watched my dad, and he's watched the audience response. And I don't know if you've ever been to an open mic performance,
Yeah.
but you get a lot of people that are acoustic guitar players, singer-songwriters, and it's great, and people are talking and stuff over them, but, they enjoy the music, and I remember when we went up there and we first started, we were doing Crazy Train and Seven Nation Army and stuff, all instrumental. I
Wow.
didn't have a vocalist at the time, and I remember you'd see people's chairs
Yeah.
engaged, and they would
It's
stop
just
talking,
it's so
and
cool and
yeah.
different. It's
Yes, and
it's
people
hard to
needed to
explain.
know
Listen,
what.
he played my daughter's wedding, and I offered to pay him $20 to play a not so, like, wedding song with Crazy Train, so but it's so cool. I can't I mean, if you haven't seen it in person, it's really cool. I'm a huge music fan, have been, 'cause I love music. but to you guys just have to check it out. It's really cool. Sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, uh, but yeah, it's a unique experience for the audience.
Right.
But I remember and of course, it's on our hometown, so I, wasn't too far out of high school, and a lot of my friends, and still they do, but a lot of my friends would come and family, and man, we would pack these open mics, and the bar would be stuffed with 75 people, these small bars, because we people wanted to
Wow.
see, and it was starting to catch on. Then the bar started, first one was Front Street, and Berea started booking us. And then on my breaks, Christmas break, spring break, I would go and I would play a show there. And then once I graduated in May of 24, then it was off to the races. And we've really picked up traction and have just been moving at a great pace, and I'm very happy about it. And it's resonating with people, and people. I love that people. There's something with the instrument that I don't know. It's something different. It's something a sound that I love to hear, and I'm glad that it resonates with other people.
Definitely, definitely. Alright. Let's see, you got a band. Now, are you guys is anything in the future you do covers now? You work on originals? Are you working on
I
originals? Is that something in the
I wanna
future?
keep I wanna keep this project at least as a cover project, because that's one, it's a good, revenue generator. The original scene is much different than the, cover scene. So I think with this project specifically, I'd like to keep it as covers. But like I said, I was composing the other day with my lead singer and in my band, and I would like to maybe pursue that. I've seen certain bands where they have one name for their cover project, same members, and they have another name for their original project.
Right,
So I'd be open to doing something like that as we start building a repertoire. But right now, I'm just arranging the strings with him, and he wrote the guitar parts and the vocals. But I'd be very interested to take that with my band and see what we could do, and I bring it to a live performance too.
nice. Yeah,
So
that's
that's
cool.
kind of my feeling on it. Because as you know, the music industry, you're an entrepreneur, you are
Yeah,
a business owner. Right?
yes.
So
Yep.
I have my band, Bridge the Gap, and then I have myself, where I'm doing weddings and solo events, corporate events, and things like that. And then I also teach and do lessons and teach in the schools and
Jeez.
studio recordings. So it's just multifaceted with what you do. But yeah, that's why we've been having so much success with Bridge the Gap as a cover band because you're kind of reimagining people's favorite songs in a way that they've never heard it before.
Right,
And so yeah, so my feeling is that's working. So I don't want to change that, but I love writing and I do I would love to pursue that as well. So I think under another project would probably be the best outlet for that.
gotcha, makes sense. Makes total sense. Yep, cool. Alright, so, I don't know where we left off, but, go
Right.
ahead.
So
You
we kind of yeah we kind of left off on where it just started with my band pretty much
gotcha,
full
yeah, from
time
the auto, okay.
after I graduated. Yes.
Right,
So yeah, so it's just been a thing about building that up. I'm trying to be as consistent as I can on social media to share that. Um, and I recently, Wood Violins, the manufacturer of the Viper, was in Long Island, New York for the longest time. And they past 30 years, and they recently, at the start of the year, moved to Cleveland,
yeah, it's
which
cool.
crazy, crazy, a crazy move. I
Yeah,
remember when I
why
heard the
Cleveland?
news,
Why do you
I'm
pick
like,
Cleveland?
"Yes, why Cleveland?" And I have the answer for it
Okay,
actually.
why?
Um, the company has transferred ownership. It's a gentleman by the name of Kent Dawkins, and he is now the owner and CEO, and he has worked with Mark for the past 15 years. He was a assistant and toured with him, and knows a lot about the company. He was involved with the Lakewood project, which is pretty much the first Electrify Your Symphony was the Lakewood project. So he's a longtime understander. I don't know if that's a word, but he's a longtime person that understands the instrument, the impact, and what this community is about.
So, what
So yeah,
Mark
so he took it over and moved it to Cleveland.
Mark invented the Viper, right? The 6,
Right.
7 string. So, I mean, how does he not own the company that makes it? Or
There
did he
was
just he just
there
pushed
was
that out?
there was
Go
a
ahead.
sale of the company.
Oh, okay, okay, gotcha. Alright.
Yeah, but Mark still works very closely with Kent on that endeavor.
Okay,
Um,
makes sense.
But yeah, so they had moved. That was at the start of this year, and in February, I got a invite. One of my teachers, Dr. Chuck Bontrager, awesome metalhead who also plays with Moulin Rouge and Hamilton on Broadway. 'Cause you
Nice.
can do both. That's what multifaceted. But,
Yeah, that's cool.
awesome guy invited me to come out to the shop, kinda before they had started showing it off and opened it to the public, and, we were trying out some of their new prototype instruments and new designs that they were working on, and the GMA, the creative director of Wood Violins was there, took this video, and when you watch something, I don't know if you've had this and you're like, "Wow, I
Yeah,
that is crazy. I can't believe I did that." I remember I clipped it and I edited and I sent it to Kent and I was like, "Would you be willing to do a collaborative post on this?" And he said, "Yes." And I remember I posted it and now it's at about 3 million views across
that's
platforms.
nuts. That's good. That's
And it
kinda
was
cool.
it was the reveal of a new pickup that they are, Barbera pickup has been on it's on my Viper, it's been on them for the longest time, and they're finding alternatives, and it was a Forte Vio pickup one they've been working on for a little bit, and,
Yeah.
so that was the reveal of that, and that was a very a very
Very
good
big
way
reveal.
to reveal it, right, right.
Yeah. Wow.
S so
That's
that
cool.
was a very crazy moment for me, and that has gained some traction on my social media, so that, I've really learned the importance, in this day and age and stuff is social media and stuff, and now even I post a clip of me performing at a cocktail hour for a wedding, and I have TikTok messages, "Can you play my wedding?" And social media is a way for us to really connect with hundreds of thousands of millions of
It
people or
Yeah,
just
it's
even geographically right in Cleveland.
right. I mean, social media is just I mean, it's crazy how many people you could reach that you could never reach before. It's, because if you were trying to do this in the '70s, '80s, you'd be going back to school getting your medical degree because you
Right,
didn't have
right.
social media back then, you'd be like, "What the hell am I doing, man?"
No, I know. I'd
But
have to find a band that would and Mark used to do this. He would try out an audition for guitar spots and wouldn't tell him that he was electric violin. So
really?
that was yes, yeah. So that was a
Wow,
interesting thing. Yeah.
that's funny. That's kinda crazy. He's, that yeah. I tell you though, it's hard to I mean, on some songs you can tell, but on some you can't. You can't tell the difference between the guitar and the violin. It's,
Right.
very strange how
Yeah,
that
and
works.
I guess, a question that I will propose and I'll answer that, a lot of people ask is why not guitar? why are you playing that instrument? And for me, it is although people are, well, they'll hear me do the Randy Rhoads Crazy Train riff or Crazy Train guitar solo, and it's, well, you could do that on guitar, but it's the ability to be able to do that, and then I can play Bach. And then I can
Right,
play,
that's
like I was telling you,
right.
composing string orchestra parts. Like when I cover Iris with my band by the Goo Goo Dolls, I'm playing the cello part and the violin part and the second violin part and then the guitar solo. It's the ability to be the versatility to do everything in one
Plus
instrument.
and
And
that's what
the
you
bow
started with.
allows. Yes, that's what I started
You
with. It's
started with
it's
the
what's
I didn't
I
start with the
know.
guitar, guys. That's.
Yes. I learned classically trained, how to have a proper bow hold, and
Right.
I learned all of that. I didn't learn how to have a proper guitar, pick technique, and that I learned that on violin, and it's working. So, but yes, also the bow allows for a lot of expressiveness, unlimited sustain. A lot of guitar players seek sustain, and they're very successful at it with pedals and so, but as long as my arm can keep moving, I have sustain. And then there's so many different techniques and ways to really color your sound, and that I can't get over there. And for me, the violin is the closest instrument to the human voice. So that's why my band does a lot of instrumental covers, and I get people that say, "Well, I can hear the lyrics in my head, and I don't even need the vocals for that because you're able to capture those nuances on the instrument with the bow and the
Yeah,
expressiveness
you
and the
know what? You're
slides and
you're
and
right
and
about
all
that.
of that." And
Yeah.
especially, what I was we were talking a little bit about it in the beginning, but sheet music where you have a composer's perspective and learning by ear, what I found was I hear a lot of string players when they play rock and pop music where it sounds like Mozart, it sounds classical, and, there's nothing, other than it being virtuosic, there's nothing classical about Randy Rhoads' Crazy Train or
No.
Van Halen, I mean, that is right.
Right, yeah.
That
No,
is
it's
as
nothing.
balls to the wall edge and grit
Yeah.
and Enter Sandman, it's grit, anyway, so I found that by learning by ear and trying to capture those nuances in the vocals or in the sound or in the solo or whatever, that helps to get away from that classical. Of course, you have to have a different technique when you approach it. Just like
Yeah.
if you were playing classical guitar, there's a much different technique when you're doing eruption.
Yeah. I've seen some I tell you what, I've seen some of the classical guitar players coming out, and holy crap. That seems a lot more difficult than playing Eruption, let me tell you. The way these kids are
Yeah,
coming out playing this classical music. Ooh, there's a guy
and
from Poland, a kid from Poland, I can't remember his name offhand. I watch him and I'm like, "Holy crap!" Because he
yeah,
plays the
and I see.
drums, he does the
Yes.
guitar, he does everything, and it's like, "Wow, that's
Oh,
nuts."
yeah, I
It's
was thinking
crazy.
about that too. That is just, yeah, I've immense amount of respect for that. But
Yeah,
again, that's a totally different style
yeah,
and I think, a lot of the mindset that, as string players we need to approach, especially now in the ever changing and in the music world that we live in, it's you gotta be able to do everything.
yeah,
As
and
I
it's
said, entrepreneurial, I am not just a string player. I am a marketer. I'm finance. I
yeah,
am
you're everything.
booking. I mean, you in the music
HR.
world today. Right, right. Yeah. HR. Yeah, with my band. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of hats you wear. It's a lot of work, and I don't think people realize that. They're like, "No, dude, you just get up there and play, yeah, violin. Yeah, that's all I do." Yeah, sure, and you gotta go home and
Right.
edit
And
videos, edit things. get it on social media and then do your books, take care of your taxes and
And
all this
practice.
stuff and
I still
practice.
have to
Yep.
find yes, I still have to find time to practice in between all of that, which is actually the funny part is it's less I thought, that's what I was gonna be doing most of the time, and it's as you get emails and you get right, you said we're posting on social media and networking with people and by the time, you're done with that, you have limited time to practice
Right.
and eat and go to the gym and do all of those things that so yeah so a lot of the mindset I think has to be thinking like a musician like an entrepreneur that is rather than just a commercial just a string player. Oh, I just do studio recordings and I just play in an orchestra and I hear a lot of restrictive mindset where I can't improvise. That's a big thing with string players. A lot of them
Yeah.
don't improvise.
It, I know eh, even though they're musicians, and usually musicians are artistic and think outside the box, even though they're musicians, they're stuck in that box. This is my box. This is where I have to stay. Well, no, it's not. And
Right. And
watching these videos like from Nina and Mia, it's like, how is this not more popular? Because it's a talent that a lot of people I don't think understand how what a talent it is, and they don't appreciate it.
yes.
But it's crazy, and I don't under that's kind of why, not that I have a ton of listeners, but hopefully it'll get out there because I'm gonna put out a lot of shorts and stuff on TikTok and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But it should be, I don't know. I think it should be
It should
a lot
it
more
should be
mainstream than it is.
a lot more mainstream, right? And I would say we are making waves, and
That's good.
we are growing, especially as you know, uh, maybe 20 years ago before Lindsey Sterling. A lot of people might not have even known the electric, and still, I run
Lindsay,
into
yeah.
people that don't even know the electric violin is a thing, and
Wow. Still, really?
that yes, and
Wow.
that perception is changing. It is changing, but there's still a lot of people that don't. You don't know anybody that doesn't know what the electric guitar is. I mean, everybody in the world pretty much knows what the electric guitar is. Um, but
But
yeah,
there
I
was a
would say
point
with
when
social
they
media,
didn't.
when they didn't, right?
Yeah,
And I think our revolution, our time is coming. It's
good.
upon us.
I hope so.
But I think as people see, as I'm talking about, like the application of the instrument, um, I even think a really cool application of it when I see, for instance, I love the band Collective Soul, and they are all live players. They don't have any tracks or anything, but they have a lot of good string parts in their songs, and they're completely missing. Well, if they could bring in an electric violin player, someone like me,
Yeah,
and they would have that live element still, and I can play any string part that they need, cello, violin, viola,
that's
and
true.
that's a way to
Yeah.
put that element in there. So I just there's so many different applications to it, but that's one of them that I've definitely noticed is it gives you that way to have strings without unless you want live strings, you have to bring in a whole orchestra or a small string section when you could bring in one electric violinist and still it won't be exactly there's ways to kind of do the orchestral, but since it's different parts, it's a little difficult to replicate live,
Right,
all
right.
of that at once, but you can still get that element there.
That would be kinda cool, go on tour with someone like that. That'd be pretty
Yeah, it
interesting.
would be cool.
Yeah.
um
Wow, the rock lifestyle.
right.
Well, that's that's
But
that's really cool. That's,
yeah,
never thought of it in that way, that you could do all that as far as playing all the different, cello and all that
Yeah,
parts
and that's not even getting too much into, wah-wah pedal and distortion, but and there's also different ways that we can sound like, different pedals and effects can make us sound like more instruments at once, and there's impulse responses that can give you the body of a Stradivarius and a Guarneri acoustic instrument. So we have a lot of or I can get the impulse response of a cello body, so I can even sound more like a acoustic instrument if I wanted to.
wow.
So there's
Nick.
certainly applications with that, and then all while I'm on a rock stage, I don't have to deal with any feedback at all because my instrument's solid body, and I
Right,
can always hear myself. That's a big issue with putting a pickup on an acoustic instrument if you're gonna play in that, um, capacity acoustic instruments it's a natural amp itself. So, the
right.
the the back of the board resonates and pushes the sound out. But, when you're on a loud stage and drums come into that and a distorted guitar, that's feedback. And also, depending on the stage, if I'm using distortion on it, um, or other effects, especially pitch shifting effects. You know, I have on mine, I can do -1 semitone where I can be in drop tuning. But if I could hear that right by my ear, like an acoustic instrument, you don't wanna hear the instrument in one tuning and then hear everything coming out of your monitor -1 semitone. It's such a clash. So that's another, application again with it because it's essentially silent, and it's great for practicing too. And in an apartment, nobody will hear you. You won't get any noise complaints. And and you could do it with headphones too.
Nice. Yeah, that's true. Yep. Wow. Well, this has been awesome. It's
Yeah.
been very informative, very fun for my first interview. This wasn't boring. So
Yes. I
no boring
appreciate that.
no boring news stories or anything like that. Stupid. But
Right.
I appreciate you taking I know
It
you're
was a
busy.
it was a fun first interview for me too.
Good, 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 good. We'll have to do it again sometime and
Yes,
continue on with
definitely.
this. So, everybody, check out Brandon. Go ahead and give him your socials again.
Right. At Brandon Hoff Music, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and then my website's brandonhoffmusic.com, and then my band is, Bridge the Gap 216, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Awesome. And like, share, and subscribe to his socials and to mine, ours, uh, Relative Truth podcast on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, comment, email us, and we'll just end it on that, I guess. Stick around though. Don't go anywhere. I have to ask, talk to you a little bit. So that is it. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully it was a little informative for you as well and entertaining. And let us know in the comments if you like the interview style, because maybe we'll do more. Maybe we'll get some more guests. So let us know. All right, everybody have a great day. Thank you.
Take care.